Today on the Ask the Anxiety Guy show, anxiety during family get-togethers, CBT for panic, and the best occupations during an anxiety disorder. Let's go. Warriors, welcome. Your questions matter. You're listening to the Ask the Anxiety Guy show.
This podcast episode is brought to you by the End the Anxiety program, a downloadable CBT-based program created by the Anxiety Guy himself to help heal your emotional distress and put anxiety behind you once and for all. Visit www.anxietyexit.com to learn more today.
Warrior, welcome to episode number 158 of the Anxiety Guy podcast. This is the hashtag Ask the Anxiety Guy show, where you ask the questions, I answer them in as much detail with as much value as I possibly can for you, the warrior, who's going through the emotional distress now, but sooner or later getting to a place in their lives where they can be proud and enjoy their lives the way they truly, truly want to. So, personal share of the day, what am I drinking? Dennis is drinking what's called jamu in Indonesia. And it's just basically all boiled together. Turmeric, ginger, tamarind, and cinnamon. So, I'm just going to take a sip right now. Tastes real nice. And I lost a very, very close tennis match over the weekend. And normally I would dread about it. I would beat myself up over it, but it was a heartbreaker. But it cemented the idea in my head that the mind will look for reasons to give up far before the human body ever does. And in that match, I remember going through it saying, you're too old, you haven't practiced enough, you're getting too tired. My mind would just, go in that direction. And all of a sudden, I found myself unconsciously always countering those. And it felt really good. And again, I realized that the body is much, much stronger. As long as our emotions are intact, the body heals itself. And I really came to that conclusion. Thanks everybody for following me on Instagram and supporting me in that tournament. It was super fun. Now, first question comes from Nutran. Nutran says, Dennis, my anxiety started about 2 months ago when we had family gatherings. I'm not sure how it started, but please help me understand why it's happening and how to overcome this anxiety during the holiday season. Now, can we relate to what Nutran is going through right now? Yes. It's the holidays. Everybody's got all these expectations. People are running around like turkeys, trying to buy the gifts and trying to fulfill other people's needs as well as themselves. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of stress and so on. So let's get into the understanding first as to how you got there, Nutran. How did you get this kind of sensitivity? Well, an experience or an expectation wasn't met, and it caused your sensitivity. Now, when I'm talking about experience, I'm talking about something that happened. Either you were humiliated in some way or to some extent, or someone showed up that you had a previous negative experience with, and so on. Or an expectation. You wanted something to happen, someone to share something with. Or you had an expectation on how you thought the event would go, and it didn't go that way. Does this sound about right? Now, once we understand how we got to where we are, because no emotional state happens by accident. There is always a cookie crumb after cookie crumb after cookie crumb that leads to the cookie. And so there's a reason. There are multiple reasons for why you feel the way you do. And the understanding must come first in my world before overcoming. And so overcoming means understand the root cause of your sensitivity and possible negativity as well. You must understand the root cause as you peel the onion to how you got to where you did. Because when you start peeling the onion, logic and your rationale starts to show up. You start to go, I've been believing a lie for so long. I've been believing something and it's actually the opposite of what really is happening or how I really am or how she really is, and so on. As well, we have to see the event for what it is, a pleasant family gathering. It's not a do or die situation of some sort. You'll notice that family gatherings, there's always that one guy who's the funniest guy at the table, and then there's the one that's the saddest and the most depressed, and so on, and everybody's got their own character, and there's always that one or two people that you shy away from or don't talk to or whatever. It's uncomfortable, and depending on your emotional state on that day, you might get along with someone and not as well with the other, but it's still just a family gathering. In years from now, God forbid, something happens to those people, what would you have given to just allow yourself to be in that moment, to converse with that person, to enjoy that dinner? You would give up everything. So do it now. Enjoy it now. No regrets later. The other thing is, expect challenges to show up during these family gatherings and allow yourself to perceive them as challenges. My friends, we must not shy away from challenges. We must not shy away from them. And I'm talking about two types of challenges. I'm talking about feelings that you experience, thoughts that run through your head, but also external challenges. We must not run from them. We must see them as so. We must view them in a way where we understand, again, that our greatest growth resides on the other side of that challenge. Make the holiday about the people you're with and nothing more. All right? Let's commit to this. Let's understand that it's not about the gifts, how much money you spend, or what you get, or whatever it is. It's about the people you get to spend time with. And remind yourself that you're only human. New, saying neutran, and everybody else out there. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. Mistakes are fine. What did Michael Jordan say? I've failed over and over and over again, and that is why I succeed. And he's not lying. He's failed, but has he viewed them as failures? No. Every loss was one step closer to a success. So Nutran, hope that helps. Just go over this a couple times, go over the podcast a few times and listen to it, and I hope you pick up some value from what I've just shared with you. The second question comes from Sherry. Sherry, thanks for the question via email. Since my real symptoms and concerns can cause panic and are driving and making my health anxiety worse, will CBT help me? Good question. CBT has its limits. And CBT works dependent on a number of factors. Now, CBT in this situation will help only if a few things are in place first. Number one, you have a long-term approach. CBT doesn't work overnight. You have a long-term approach. Number two is you stick to it daily. You don't go away and say, I'm better now, and then feel sensitive and then wonder why you felt sensitive. You stick to the C and the B the tools that you're given and learning each and every day during the process of the transition from who you are to who you're becoming every single day. Overcoming anxiety is a 24-hour job. Doesn't mean you have to be obsessed, but you do have to be aware. What's going on in my life? How did I get to this point? What sort of patterns do I need to adopt in order to move past this in my life, starting today? Not today, but starting today. Thirdly, you have to accept setbacks. Setbacks are part of the journey. Setbacks are going to come. They're going to come as sensations. They're going to come as thoughts that you've unconsciously attached yourself to that turn into feelings. They're going to turn into actions that you regret later on. Setbacks are a part of the journey. They're part of the learning process. So accept them. You're human. Allow yourself to be human. Third question from Tabitha. Tabitha asks, "Hey Dennis, I have a question for you. Have you found an occupation that makes it easy to have while struggling with an anxiety disorder? I have suffered from depersonalization with every job that I've had." I love this question. You know why? Because I've been through it. I said, how am I going to go into a room full of people and please my clients in order to keep my job and to keep food on the table and to pay my bills, and yet deal and fight with this internal battle called an anxiety disorder? I know where you are. Now, the severity of the anxiety and its symptoms will dictate how much you can do in your current occupation. Remember this: when one door closes, another one opens, meaning dive deep into the skill sets you currently have to build up a business online, or invest time into something you've always wanted to learn. This doesn't mean you're running away from an occupation or running from the outside. You're recognizing a chance to do something you've always wanted to do and free up time to spend with friends and family. Anxiety will open up many doors to you. And funny enough, during my anxiety disorder, I fiddled with the idea of starting an online business. Right? I couldn't do it at the time, but I fiddled with the idea. I came up with different ideas and how life would be so grand and I could open up free time for myself and such. But again, this is an opportunity for you to recognize the things that you gave up on many years ago. What were you interested in? So don't limit yourself, and understand that as you work through your depersonalization and your anxiety, go ahead and allow yourself to take those certifications, to go back to school, to do the things you love. Quote of the day. Are you ready? Marcus Aurelius, the former emperor of Rome, says, "Today I escaped from anxiety. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside." Marcus Aurelius, a beautiful quote that you can take with you today. I love you all so much for listening every single week. If you're enjoying this podcast episode, please give it a positive rate and review, and I'll see you very, very soon. Remember, you are more than anxiety. Bye. Warriors, remember, you are more than anxiety. You keep asking the questions, and I'll keep answering them.